TeamPokeColors family, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at something that I made a video about a couple years ago at this point, but today we're going to be looking at some helpful tips to consider before submitting some Pokemon cards to PSA. So without further ado, hit the like button, subscribe down below, and let's get right into it. All right guys, so years ago you could send in a card, the PSA to grade, for about $10 bulk. You had to submit at least 50 or 25 or something like that, but now that price is not $10 anymore. That price is close to $30. So how do you save money? Why do you want to submit a card? That's the number one thing. If you want to submit a card to get a 10 to sell, then this little tool is going to help you achieve that goal. Now if you want to send in a card like this, for example, let me just move some stuff here real quick. So for example, this card here, this card I want to grade because this was my fiance's card. So as you can see, there's some edge wear in the corner, probably some decent scratches on the hollow, but it's definitely not going to grade a 10. Let's just be real. Centering's also kind of off a little bit top to bottom. So there's cards that you might want to submit for sentimental value, but if you're trying to submit a card like, say for example, this one here, since I have it, like a Pikachu VMAX that you want to get in a 10 and maybe try to sell, and or do whatever you want with. If you want to get a PSA 10 Pikachu VMAX, this tool right here, which I found through one of you guys told me about this. So if you can see, called Gem Mint, from Gem Mint Tools at Gmail. Found it on eBay. Sure, it's on Amazon as well, but basically it is a card center template. So what does that mean? Well, when you send in cards to PSA to get graded, it's graded on a lot of different factors. Main four things being surface, corners, like for edge wear, centering, and then also what's the other one? Surface, corners, edges. Okay, yeah, that's right, edges. So edges refers to the side, tops, and bottom. Corners are obviously the corners. Surface is the surface of the card, and then centering refers to the front centering and back centering of the card. So this tool here recommends you put a card in a top loader, and then you can see what it might grade in terms of centering, because a lot of the times you might be at a PSA 9, like this card here, but the reason why it grades a 9 instead of a 10 might be centering. So we're going to take a look at this right now. We got a PSA 9. We're going to line it up. So basically, you want to line up the card as best as you can in terms of, centering purposes. So it might be a little off because it's in a slab, but maybe the slab will act as a top loader. So this here says front, side, bottom. All right. So we got it all lined up. If you look along the bottom, the yellow matches with the border, but as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3. So let's see if we can zoom in here. This might be helpful. So we have numbers, all right? And these numbers correlate to how off or how close to the card is in that aspect. So for example, if it hits a 1 down here for the dashed line, then you hit 2, and then it goes all the this one, it looks like you get it right in line. It almost looks like it goes up to 3 on the bottom. So let's check the left side. Left side, you want it at 2. That's about ideal centering, about like that 1 to 2. That's like that solid line. The next solid line is about how wide you want it on the sides. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can let me know in the comments. This is my first time using this tool, so it just kind of helps see where the centering might be misaligned. But the top looks pretty good. You can kind of see that corner's a little off, but it's kind of hard to tell. Now look at the right side. The right side, it goes from the dash, or it goes from the solid line into about the 3 dash right there. The left side also goes into about the 3 dash. Okay, top goes into the 3 dash as well. And then the bottom is also the 3 dash. So the centering, the way that I look at it from my perspective, like you take that away, you can almost kind of tell that the left side is thicker than the right side, but it looks very close. So like, it's best to tell how the centering is going to be if you look at the corners. Sometimes you can tell better with the corners, and looking at the corners, personally, I think it is a little more shifted to the right than it could have been if it was a 10. The top is a little bit thinner than the bottom, so it's almost upshifted as well. But essentially, let me show you how we actually should use this tool. Obviously, you're not always going to have a graded card to use as an example, so we're going to use this chunky boy Pikachu. Looking at it initially, these are difficult because you can only tell from about here down, and then here, as well as maybe up here. Like the centering on the top is really the hardest to find, you know, because there's no line, like there's no border. The border starts here and ends here, so you really have just this bottom half that you're working with. So if we use our tool, the Gem Mint grading guideline tool here, we want to line up the black thick line at the bottom with the bottom of the card. And let me see if I can line it up correctly. A little bit harder to show on video, but here we go. Okay, so as you can see, you look on the left side, it's pretty close right there. Need to really line it up here. It's very difficult. This is very difficult, so bear with me here, folks. Okay, that's top and that's bottom. Okay, we're just going to try to hold it here as best as possible. But if you look, the border on the left side is only as thick as the first black, like solid line to the second. Okay, that's where you want to be. You want to be within those boundaries if you guys decide to purchase this tool. I'll link this tool in the description below, but this is really a more in-depth tutorial of how to use it properly, kind of. As you can see, the bottom here, it goes up to about 1, 2, and almost 3 with that dash line. It's like in between 2 and 3 there. But if you look at the right side, this is where it matters, right? It's not within the boundaries of the first like solid line. It goes all the way into about 3 with the dashed line starting here. So when I'm going to send this in to get graded, if it grades a 9, I'm not going to be surprised because the centering is slightly off on the left to right axis, right? But here's the thing, guys. I have a PSA 10 VMAX card that I graded myself, and the centering is also thicker on one side. I think it's a little bit thicker. I mean, I remember I was trying to look at this card as best as I could. I was going to grade it regardless, but if I'm not mistaken, I do remember saying in the video back then that that the left side appeared to be a little bit more thicker, a little bit more thinner. Right word to say. Let's see here. Hold on. So this goes for this, right? The left side here. Let me line it up. Okay, there's the white border. There's the border. Okay, look at that. Bam! Smack dab within the first solid line and the second. Lined up in the corner. You go all the way over. Looks good. Looks good. Ooh, right side. Hold on. Let me line this up. This tool is difficult to use with a graded slab already, but if you look, the border it goes to 3. See the solid line? It goes into the next solid line, and then the hash line number 3 there. So you might get lucky. You might get lucky and find somebody that doesn't really care about centering that much. Also, I sent this in 2020, so you also might have some harsher grading nowadays. But that's just tip number 1. All right, that's just tip number 1. Using this tool can be very beneficial, and it actually comes with a percentage chart of, you know, where you might grade on the scale, and then here's how you use it. So if you guys want to pause the video, basically you want it to be 50-50. You want 3 on the left side and 3 on the right side, similar to how we showed on this one here. We had 3 here and here, but top and bottom it was a little off, although it looks pretty good. Actually, I wonder if they graded it separately. Maybe they dinged it off because the corners have little ticks on them. I don't know what you call it, but that's going to be something that I'm going to use. And I have this huge stack of cards here as well, guys, that I'm going to be sending off to PSA. So expect another video going through these bad boys. Me and TeamPokeColors member Alex are going to be sending these cards off to PSA to get graded in the near future. So in waiting for that, really you just want to make sure that if you're submitting a card, you got to have some intentions behind it. So Like for example, this Pikachu, if this Pikachu, you know, I pulled it from an ETB and my grandma gave me the ETB and, you know, whatever, if there's some sort of sentimental value, like that's valid for grading. All right. The thing is if you're grading to grade 10s and either flip it and make money or just hold on to it, this tool can be really helpful, because if you have a near mint pull like this Pikachu, you have a near mint Pikachu pull like this that I got straight out of the pack, never hit anybody's fingertips except for mine just now. I mean, I literally, like, I pulled this midweek release Vivid Voltage, so I was making sure to be super careful. I pulled it out, slid it into the sleeve, and it's been in the sleeve since, other than just now. You know, if you have a near mint card, the centering might be your only enemy there. I can say that I have enough experience with not only sending cards to PSA, but knowing how they kind of grade, to say that these two cards are not going to be 10s. All right. It's a first edition Shadowless Ghastly, which is awesome that I even own that. And then this Umbreon EX, which is super cool. But there's a few things that go into what they look for when grading. And the main thing is really just surface. So you have scratches, dents, you know, tears, anything like that. They may not even grade it. However, this is minor enough of a scratch on this card here for them to probably grade it, because it's just a little crease fold here and it doesn't really go through to the back. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. So you can kind of see, you really want to look at the surface of your card. And it's best to get under nice lighting too, because looking at the back, I also see another crease on this side right here, right under the image of the Eevee. You can kind of see, and I just saw that through looking at the back. You can see that little fold right here. There's some like edge wear, surface dents right here. There's a little peel dent kind of thing surfacing up here. So like if you look at it from this distance, right, you may not even see these things. So it's best to get under good lighting, look at it real close, use a magnifying glass if you have to. I know they have special like grading tools for that. I'm not gonna buy one of those. I think the centering tool that I just showcased earlier is plenty of fine for me, but you also want to look for scratches in the card. So I kind of see one going left to right here. You can barely see it, but if you hit the light just right, I can see it. So this may grade lower than what I expected, honestly, after looking at it in depth. And then also you want to look at the front. Obviously the surface of the holographic, if you're submitting a holographic card, is very prone to scratching. So if you have any scratches on there, they will probably grade lower because of any scratches. And it also depends on how bad the scratching is too. But a card like this, you know, I'm not as concerned about centering, right? This is something that I'm going to grade because it'll look sweet in a slab, not because I want to grade it a 10 to flip it. Now, if you pulled this from a pack, then really centering is the only thing you got to worry about. But any other card that you probably didn't pull from a pack or have just acquired or have just had in your collection for a long time, even in a binder, you know, I have a Charizard over here. It graded a 7, but its entire life it stayed in a binder. So, you know, if it stays in a binder, it can also get damaged just from people flipping binder pages or even just pulling it up to see it, putting it back in. Like these penny sleeves that people put cards in, like they protect from outside sources, but they can also cause scratching, especially if something gets inside the sleeve and just lives in the hollow. And if you just keep doing this a bunch, it's almost like moving that thing and scratching the hollow. I have seen that happen to a few of my cards, which kind of stinks. But let's take a look at this one here real quick. This one's first edition Shadowless. This was graded it was like some weird grade, like GMA 8. I cracked it out of its case because, you know, gem mint grading, like, let's be honest, I'm gonna grade this with PSA, of course. But this is a prime example of how centering can be a factor into grading. Now, if this Ghastly wasn't a first edition Shadowless and it was just like a base set, I probably wouldn't grade it because the centering is atrocious. I mean, let's just take a look real quickly. I mean, they want you to use a top loader, but we're not gonna do that. All right, let's take a look here. We have the bottom lined up-ish, right? We kind of have it lined up. About right there. So as you can see, the yellow goes from the black border being number 1 up to dash, or dash is 1, and then 2 is the second line. It goes all the way up to the 3, the dash line, the second dash line, number 3 right here. So the bottom is 3. Now, if this side and the top are all 3, it's centered perfectly according to this this guide. But if you look on the left side, it's definitely not centered perfectly. It starts at 1, hits 1, goes all the way to almost 3.5, 4. It's like in between. Well, about 3-ish, 4, something like that. Really the main side is going to be the right. So look at this right side, guys. Oh my gosh, it's lined up on the right. It goes all the way into 4. Like, that's how uncentered this card is. And then if we go to the top, it's also all the way into 4. Like, as you can see, I mean, if it's close, you might want to use the tool, but something like this, you can visibly tell that this card is not centered perfectly at all. And you can also, it comes with 2. Yeah, I don't know why. It came with 2. One's just like got more like plastic around it, and I'm not sure what the purpose of that is for. I wonder if you're supposed to like sandwich it. You like sandwich it in here. I don't know. But I guess you could do whatever you want when you get the item or the tool if you decide to purchase it. And it's not a sponsor. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that. One of you guys just had said, hey, check this out. Would love to see a video on it. And well, here it is. So looking at the back as well, I mean, it's about the same thing. You got 4 on the top at least. Like, that's bad. And then on the left side, you got about 3. And then same thing. Bottom's not even set up right. Right there. Bottom on the back is about 2. Not all the way up to the dash line. It's like in between 2 and 3. Like, as you can see, about right there. The blue is like in between the dash and the 3, and then solid 2. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I don't know. This is just kind of like a sequel, I guess, to the original video I made years ago. But definitely go watch that video. It's like a more like, I guess, unbiased, rudimentary rundown of grading cards. It was also fresh in my mind. It's been years, so a lot of things that I said in that video still apply to today. I just wanted to add a few things about how, you know, it's best to have some intentions behind grading, especially if you have cards that are severely damaged or just have any creases, any deep scratches. And as long as you're okay with grading lower because of that, like this card here, this Umbreon, like I bought this off of Whatnot. Okay, so I didn't pull this. I got it for a good deal, and I'm gonna grade it because it's an Umbreon EX old school. Like, why would I not grade it? And then same thing kind of goes with the first edition Shadowless Ghastly. Like I never pulled that. I've never opened a first edition booster pack from base set. What are you talking about? But yeah, anyways, if you made it this far in the video, press a like, comment down below what you guys think. If you've submitted cards to PSA, how has your experience been? I want to know. And I want to say thanks for all the support lately. I just appreciate each and every one of you coming out to the channel, hitting the like, hitting the subscribe, and we're working our way almost to 2,000 subscribers, which is actually insane. So hit the subscribe, let's get there. Maybe you can try to hit it before Christmas. That would be sweet. But yeah, here, let me hold on. Since you made it this far in the video, I want to give away a couple code cards for you. If you like code cards, if not, then close out or go watch some more of my videos. There's some code cards. There you go. Lost Origin booster packs. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you have a great day. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.